All right, put away the salt shaker. It could save your life or it could prevent a stroke. A new study out of the European Society of Cardiology meeting reported these findings in the New England Journal of Medicine earlier this week. Our 9 News health expert, Dr. Payal Kohli, who is a cardiologist, by the way, joins us now to talk about that. Welcome.
Good morning, Carrie.
So salt, it's not very good for you. We've heard that for a long time, but why is it not very good for you?
Well, so salt makes our body hold on to water. Water means the tank is more full, so the blood pressure goes up. When the blood pressure goes up, the blood vessels get stickier, cholesterol can get stuck, and there can be damage to the blood vessels as well. That results in heart attacks and stroke. And 9 out of 10 Americans eat too much sodium.
Yeah, I think a lot of people do.
They do.
Barbecued beef, come on.
Oh, stop, you're killing me.
I know. So how do we balance that? What kind of salt intake should we have?
Well, so according to the American Heart Association, less than 1.5 grams a day, which is less than 3/4 of a teaspoon. But what our average intake ends up being is more than double that, 3.5 grams a day, which is more like 1.5 teaspoons of salt. And I'm not just talking about what you're adding to your food.
Yeah.
I'm also talking about all the other sodium in the processed foods and the drinks and everything else, the pastas, the breads, everything else that we're eating.
Yeah, so I imagine if you don't pour salt on food, you're still going to be over that limit.
That's exactly right. And that's why it's really important to count. Look at that food label, look at how many servings you're taking in, count exactly how much you're putting in, and you'll be surprised how much hidden sodium is in our diet.
So what do we do about this if we have hypertension or whatever from salt?
Well, so salt substitutes, this is a study about salt substitutes. So we haven't known for a long time whether they work or not. What that is potassium chloride instead of sodium chloride. Now, potassium chloride does 2 things. One, it makes you take in less sodium. And the second, it actually makes you pee out some of the sodium that you took in from somewhere else. So this is a large study out of China, 21,000 patients who they gave 25% potassium chloride, 75% sodium chloride. So a salt substitute instead of 100% sodium chloride. And they reduced their risk of having a stroke by 14% and their risk of dying by 12%.
Well, that's pretty good. What's it taste like?
You know, I have to be honest.
Is that the catch?
Yeah, well, you'll get used to it. A little bit of a metallic aftertaste to some of those salt substitutes because of that potassium chloride, but patients that use it tell me that they can't go back to regular salt now.
How about that?
Yeah.
All right. So should everybody that is having issues, or even if they're not having issues, try salt substitutes?
That's a great question, and I want you to take the findings of the study with a tiny grain of a salt substitute. Yeah, no pun intended.
Right.
Yeah, but it's a high-risk population that we studied. So it was people who'd had prior stroke or people who have really high blood pressure and they're greater than 60 years old. We think that they're generalizable to the general population. So in my opinion, yes, most people are likely to benefit from a salt substitute for those reasons because it cuts down the sodium. The people that have to be careful are those that have kidney disease, because if you're taking in too much potassium and you have chronic kidney disease, then your kidneys can't handle it. So if you're considering a salt substitute, talk to your doctor about
Yeah, and we were talking earlier real quick that I have a history in my family of heart disease, and so I'm probably a pretty good candidate to get off the salt, right?
You're a great candidate to get off of that salt. And next time you're eating pizza or French fries, I heard Corey say she adds salt to her pizza. Try that salt substitute instead.
All right, Dr. Payal Kohli, as always, we appreciate it. Thank you.